don't know what time it is where you are, but good morning, good, what do I say? Good afternoon, good evening. I am Man's Man, and this is I Am Sure Sports. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is doing fine. We're coming to the end of the month of May. We're the 26th of May, and there's a special day coming up Tuesday, the 27th of May. Yeah. Gonna talk to you a little bit about that, but before we get into all of that, one thing I have to do is always say, give thanks for life, give thanks for the breath in our lungs. Because if it had not been for the Most High, then none of us would be here today. That is it. So we give thanks for life and life more abundantly. You understand me? We have to do that. But hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is doing fine. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about this big game between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. But before we do that, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. For those of you watching on the replay, I want you to listen to this and then leave a comment in the comment section, and then I'll respond to it. And the last video I did talking about the Jamaica JPL finals between Cavaliers and Mount Pleasant. I think Leroy Smart is the name of the commenter. He was saying that he has never seen statistics score a penalty. No, statistics are very important. And while people may say they're overrated, but the reason why teams analyze teams is because of the stats that are presented. And that is all what they use to break them down. So we cannot undervalue the importance of having good statistical data when it comes down to the sport of football. It is necessary. It's part of the improvement and the growth of football in this time and in this day. So Leroy Smart, easy no man. You know the gist of the thing no man. Easy no man. Now, big game coming up. Unity Cup Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago. Coach McLaren and Dwight York meet in a higher level friendly. I think they had a series of game in Jamaica earlier this year. The first coming together in terms of two coaches. They worked together while Dwight York was a player at Manchester United, and coach Steve McLaren worked with Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. So they meet, um, like I said, a higher level friendly this time around for Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. And very interesting, as I looked at the Trinidad and Tobago squad, none of the players who played in the JPL, that is the Jamaica Premier League, were included in the Trinidad and Tobago squad. And I think those players, in comparison to those players that are playing in the league in Trinidad, would have been at a higher level because the players from Trinidad and Tobago actually were engaged in the playoffs and the final in Jamaica. You had a couple of them down in Montego Bay, and you have one at the Cavaliers Football Club. You had also two that played for Veer Phoenix, Wooling and Daniels, Josiah Daniels, that is. Josiah Daniels had left earlier, but Wooling played up until the completion of the season. So I was surprised that none of them were included in that. And I'd love to know why. Is it because, they're playing in Jamaica? Or it's, coaching reason, or it would have been difficult for them to travel because majority of them would have played in the finals on Friday in Jamaica, and the Trinidad and Tobago team arrived in England on the Saturday after the finals. So don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. They seem to have a older, the average age of their team is above that of the Jamaican team, that are feeling a lot of players from their JPL and players who have not been um, uh, around or in the squad pretty often. And this is big, all right? While it's an important tournament because it signifies the unity between Africa and the Caribbean, I think this is big. And I think it is something that ought to happen also in Caribbean territories where there is this amalgamation of uh, the people or the place of our heritage as black people with the people in the place that we were brought to, our foreparents, that is, or as slaves, and kind of bring that together. Imagine if Jamaica were to, for example, qualify, all right, for the World Cup, some of you would say probably, I believe confidently that we will. Imagine after our qualification, Jamaica were to play a game in Jamaica against Ghana, and you know, as they qualify, imagine what that would be like. A series of games, one in Ghana, one in Jamaica, as preparation. It would be good for Ghana, one, because they'd get to play a CONCACAF team in preparation for the World Cup, which will be hosted in CONCACAF between the USA, Canada, and Mexico. I think that would be big, and I can just imagine the amount of fans would come out in Jamaica to support a venture like that. And if you're a good business, a person into sports business, that's a good venture to look to. Play it in February, as we celebrate the birth day of the late Robert Nesta Marley, a celebration of music and football. What a big thing, you know. You'll credit management someday for that fantastic idea to put some good money in your pocket. But the big thing for me in this series of game is the opportunity that is being presented. Now, many players oftentimes complain that they are not called, they're not getting in the game, and people always make excuses. And one thing I've learned in football is make no excuses. Make no excuses. When you have an opportunity, you have to maximize it. Every time you get an opportunity to don the national colors, you have to make sure that you maximize it and you put in a performance so good that you cement your place in any national team. Now, I don't care what league you're playing, I don't care how many caps you have, but when you have this opportunity, you're on the field, and on the field, behavior, effort, contribution is pivotal, pivotal, especially in a critical time like this, because this is like the season of World Cup preparation football, and not many people get this opportunity. Not many people. And players have to get to a place where when you are not in, you have to look back and say, what did I do with the opportunity that was presented to me? That is critical. What did you do with the opportunity presented to you? What did you do? This is your opportunity. You have to make the most of it. Big up Lovers Network. And yeah, man, thanks for the comment. I know that a lot of people probably not up right now. Who is that again? Let me just check and see. Man of God, early, bright and early. Bless up. So people always make excuses. Whether you play in the domestic league in Jamaica, you're somewhere in Europe or somewhere else in the world, whenever you have, if it is 10 minutes, 5 minutes, your football is about character. And as I interact with players and as I interact with people involved in football, I realize that your character is important on and off the field. Big up yourself, Miguel. So every time you get the opportunity to play, to put on your national colors, you have to maximize it, because it may be your only opportunity. Let the naysayers, let the coaches, let everybody say no. And merit, this person deserves a spot. You have to put in a performance. If you get 5 minutes, make your mark. You get 10 minutes, make your mark. You get 1 hour, make your mark. Leave an indelible mark on the hearts and the mind of the coaches and the fans that you'll be back there. And if that doesn't happen, you don't make any excuses. Charles Swindoll said this, blame no one for your daily misunderstanding, because life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. Don't make any excuses. And I use this to speak to the players in Jamaica, the young players. You see, football is on and off the field. Behavior, character, diligence and work hard. I just had this conversation with my goddaughter, and I was saying to her, you want to be a professional footballer, you don't wait until your coach tells you to lose weight or sprint harder. Those are individual disciplines that you need, because self-development demands self-discipline. So I think this presents the players with an opportunity to what people would say, well, the first team players, or many of them are not here. You know, people say, well, Leon Bailey is not here, and Andre Blake is not here, and Damian Lowe, and Ethan Pinnock. Don't concern yourself with who is not here. You are here. What are you going to do? Your performance should be so good. Your performance should be so good. Listen, that Ethan Pinnock have to wonder, like, boy, Ethan Pinnock have to say to himself, how do I get back in this team? Leon Bailey have to say, how do I get back in? Andre Blake has to say, how do I get back in? That is how good your performance ought to be. Because life oftentimes presents us with these opportunities, but once. Yeah, man, we're live in London, Brentford. You understand me? Presented with these opportunities, RVM, yeah, man, bless up. But once. So those of you who interact with players, this is what you have to encourage them. You can't be consumed with the fan base. The fans, there will always be fans who don't believe in you. If everybody believes in you, something is wrong with you. Everybody don't believe in God. And everybody don't believe in Satan. The best, God is good, and the worst, Satan, the devil. And even with them, on opposite parts of the scale, people disbelieve one and disbelieve the other. Why do everyone have to believe in you? The important thing is not whether or not people believe in you. The important thing is that, do you believe in yourself? Because that is what makes the difference. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're already defeated. You know that from the great one. So this is your opportunity. And I want to say to the fans, you know me and my channel. I'll keep it real. You see, man is man tell you something before you believe it. Now, many are going to say he's credible. But even with me, because people are people, people get emotional. Not everything you hear from even the most convincing person is accurate. Because here's what I know with deception and lies and casting aspersions and innuendos. Here's what I know. That the deceiver always mixes lies with 99% truth. So they give you a lot of truth, and 1% of it or less is a lie. But because they are so convinced, and you become so convinced with all the truths, you don't realize that you're bought in a lie. It's not everything we hear and see on platforms from people is really true, you know, because there are many sides to stories. It's their side, it's the other person's side, it is the witness side, and there is the truth. So you have to decipher, you have to get as much information and make logical decisions. Don't let people decide what you believe. You garner the necessary information, and then from that, you believe something. You create that. Right? Yeah, man. Definitely, RVM, man. Playing at the Brentford Stadium, man. We link up, man. Man, is man go there, man. You don't know, man. You will have to link up, man. Yeah, tell us right now about the team that we may not be aware of. You want to know what we may not be aware of? I don't know. So here's what you can do, right? I will, because I don't normally do live like this on the phone and thinking, But here's what you do, Lovell. Just think about the question, put it in the comment section, and what I'll do a separate video at some point today, because you know the time now, because like people in Jamaica still there them bed, you know. Because it's after what time is it in Jamaica, you know? After 3 in the morning. So what I'll do is that I'll come back later in the night in London, but early in the day in Jamaica, and take the questions and answer them. All right, I'll just do a video where I take the questions and stuff. Of course, you know, if you ask me about like starting 11, be wise, no, know the management not going to answer certain question, don't it? You don't know that, don't. You don't know that I am very politically diplomatic professional. DPP. Oh no, diplomatic political professional. DP. I'm the DPP. So you don't ask me question that you know that management not going to answer, because there are certain things I cannot give answer to. But as best as I can, I will, you know, I will speak to you and stuff. But this is it, right? So I just want to encourage you, because the football sometimes for me is at like fans hold a lot of power, you know. Fans don't realize how much power they have in their hand, because fans can build a team and fans can break a team. Let me say that again. Fans have a lot of power. You have the power to build, and fans have the power to destroy. Presser, big up yourself. Fans have the power to build up, and fans have the power to tear down. Fans have a lot of powers. So what I want to ask, have you ever seen, for those of you, you're in the summer now, that a fan is in a room, like an electric fan, and because the room is hot, after a while it seems like the breeze that comes from the fan started out cooling, you know, but because the fan is in the heat, it takes on the temperature. And so the fan begins to, what we say, blow off hot air. You have the power in your hand to build or destroy the Jamaica national teams as fans, as a fan base. Now, people must express their opinion. But if everyone had all their opinions met, if you as an individual had all that you wanted for the national team, somebody else would not be happy. So who do you please? Because if every fan were pleased, you would never have final 23s and final 11, because every single fan has different opinion. I can use 2 examples. Like Presser is probably on one end, and say Peso. I just use those 2 names because they start with P's. And Peso on a different end. Big up 876 Jamrock. Yeah. Who that? Real baller. Where you going with? Long time. You understand me? So fans have to understand that you'll never get, if you ask, and I always ask this, ask without consulting anyone. Today, when you're on a channel, Presser, Real Ball, any channel, Lovell, any channel, all of you listening, 876 Jamrock, if you were to ask fans or the people in a comment section to name their 23, you would not, 10 people, you would not find, if they don't speak to each other, you would not find like 2 out of the 10 with the same 23. Because it's just how it is. So you will never ever get all, because a next person also have their own opinion and choices. I want you to understand that. So sometimes when you get upset and me get upset about what happened to this person, there's a next person who is upset. So who is supposed to be pleased? All of us? Some of us? None of us will ever be pleased. It's the way of football. You think I'm pleased about Arteta's selection? And next man is happy, because the player that he likes is in there. The player that he thinks is good is in there. Like a good example is, I'm not a Martin Odegaard fan. Andre, before the game, is a Martin Odegaard fan. He wants Martin Odegaard in the Arsenal team. I don't want him in there. I think they should sell him. He says he wants him to stay. You know the Jamaican Arsenal fan and AFTV, them call him Yardman. The man says Mikel Arteta must go. I think Mikel Arteta must stay. Who should they please? Who should the owners of the club please? You have Turkish who believe that it is the owners of the club that is the problem. Should the owner sell the club? Who? And so sometimes we have to come to reasonable, logical conclusion and know that not everyone will be pleased. Some people say sell Bruno from Manchester. Some want Bruno to stay. Sell Bruno and invest the money in something, and someone say no, he is the best player. Some say the coach is not good, he should go. He's worse than Ten Hag. Some people say no, give the man a chance. Some people are saying that Klopp should not have left Liverpool. Arne Slot comes in and he wins. He has a bad season next year. People say, like, you see him never good. Him the bill and what? So you'll never ever be pleased. Never ever. You're right, but that 4-3-3 presser. Ten Hag, right? There you go. It's everyone sees the game. 876 Jam. Everyone sees the game differently. So because everyone sees the game differently, everyone has their own opinion, boss. And that is the truth with football. Now there are some decisions we're going to all agree on, you know. Because let's look at the Jamaican team. If we're going to talk about goalkeeping, all of us are going to say Andre Blake is in goal. There are so many other positions that we're going to argue about. And maybe if we have good logical, we can all agree. We can bring the person to our side, or you know, we can go to their side of the argument. That is to say then, if we as fans can get it wrong, coaches can get it wrong as well. Everybody can get it wrong. But listen, you know what time it is. So leave your questions in the comment section. I am going to come back later and answer them. You know who this is. Who are you? I am management. And this is I Am Sure Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Bless up. Much love. If you're in this area, let us link up at the game. Let Jamaica know what time it is. Let Trinidad and Tobago know what time it is. But big up yourself. Listen, again, leave your comments, your questions in the comment section. I promise you that I'll come back and just do a video to answer them. But I'm management. This is I'm Sure Sports. And as usual, when it comes to this time, we say, you know what? We are over and we are out of here.